What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is the Assiniboine River. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gents, we are at Oxbow Bend Kayak and Canoe launch. This is the area right next to the perimeter highway, so it might be a bit noisy out there today, but we want to be fishing in the Assiniboine River, see if we can get on some catfish or something. Now, of course, this is a spot known for launching kayaks and canoes and going down to the forks and stuff like that, but being the Assiniboine River, there's also opportunity for some fishing. For that reason, I'm going to pick a spot right next to the bridge. Let's do some fishing. Alright, so we made it to the little spot we want to be fishing, and first and foremost I need to say that this area is a bit more sandy than I'm used to, but this is still mud. It's just more of a sandy mud, but that's going to make for some interesting fishing out there, hoping that our little pyramid sinker will grab onto this and not wash down river. We need to try in front of the pylons, next to the pylons, and behind them, see where the fish are. And the current is rather strong, but hopefully we won't get washed down too much, or there's hopefully not a lot of snags out there. The only way we'll find out is by getting some baits out there. Just going to go for simple 2 hooks again, baited with some night crawlers, and of course we're using some circle hooks just to improve our chances of landing the fish. Alright, so our baits do wash down a little bit, but it's not that bad. I think we can make this work. We have the baits out there, now we'll just wait for some fish to show up. Having some odd movement, I think maybe we have a fish on. And indeed, we do have a fish. It's not been that long. Something like 5 minutes or so. Haven't had any hits, which is a good sign, because if you have a lot of small fish in the area, we'll get hits immediately. But our first fish for today, channel catfish. Not a bad size one to start off with. Of course, we want to get the bigger ones. But this guy just helps us get on the board. First little fish landed. Let's get him back to the water. Just going to give him a bit of a toss. Don't want to get spined by those guys. If they start wriggling around, they can hurt you quite a lot. So that's why rather throwing them back. If they get bigger than that, you don't want to throw them. Anything around the pound mark is fine to throw back. Alright, we have another fish on. This time it's a little red horse. This guy was right next to the pylon there. Oh, hook popped out. Alright, so this fish had a bit of a tumble. The hook popped out and he fell. So I just want to spend some time with him in the water, make sure he's okay. I just want to keep him in the water, keep his head upstream so the water rushes over his gills. Lovely little smallmouth red horse, lovely red on the tail there. So after he had that little fall, I just want to rest him a bit. We don't want him to struggle to swim around if he has a little concussion or something. Just going to keep him in the net for a while. He's starting to move around. Strong kick from him, and he's off. Whenever you're in doubt, spend some time with the fish. Rather get them revitalized. Make sure they swim off on their own. You don't want the fish just to go belly up. So let them swim away. That way you know they're good. Alright, we just had a pull on the line and then it swims to the side. So I'm thinking another little red horse. They tend to love to do that. With a channel catfish, you get quite a lot of head shakes, but they tend to either swim away or go in a specific direction. Whereas red horse, for some reason, they love coming to the shallower side. Lovely fish, this one. Lovely colors. And we got our red horse in the net. Maybe this is a 19-inch. So that's 49 centimeters. That is a decent red horse. Lovely colors. Don't know if the camera can pick it up. The green on the scales at the top, with the red on the fin. So I'm just going to release this fish from the net and have him swim off. So that was a lovely little red horse to catch, a good little sucker fish. Now why am I releasing him with the net? Well, this mud is rather sticky. Once you go in, it's very difficult to come out. You kind of break the entire embankment to try and get out. So rather than going down there, I'm just going to release the fish with the net as well. Safer for both the fish and for me. Alright, so when it comes to sucker fish, there is actually no difference in the regulations between the different types of sucker fish. Therefore, a master angler sucker fish is 46 centimeters. So that one we just caught being 47 to 48. That is actually a master angler red horse, so a master angler sucker fish. So always be aware of that whenever catching any sucker fish, that there is only one size to fit to get into the master angler program. So it's always worth measuring if you think it's a big enough one. Right, we have the baits back out there. Let's see if we get something different. I'm in a lot closer, not near the bridge anymore. We also do have something here in the water causing quite a lot of disturbance. Maybe some rocks or something. So I want to see if maybe there's something behind that, something that's willing to feed. And we have something from the exact spot that I was just talking about. And it's another baby channel catfish. I'm going to get this guy back. And it seems to me that the bigger fish are in the prime spots, and then you have these tiny fish here next to the shallows. So maybe focusing on trying to find the better spots. Another fish on. Like that, two fish on. We have a little channel catfish, went for the top hook, getting him back to the water, and then we have a little stone cat. Now this little stone cat is actually perfect size to use as bait. So I'm just going to hook him through his bottom lip like that. And we'll get on a new piece of night crawler and get that out into the water. Just going to lower him so he gets some oxygen. Alright, so we got something on. We're still using our little stone cat. Don't know whether it went for that. If it did, it should be a decent fish, willing to go for a stone cat. It's not putting up much of a fight, it's just a bit heavy. There we go, there's the fight we were looking for. There's indeed a channel catfish, I think, that went for our little stone cat. I'm going to try and force him upriver from us. There we go, fish in the net. You can still see our little stone cat there. And there's our little channel catfish that went for our stone cat. Lovely fat belly on him. They do of course get a lot bigger than this. This is still a good catch. Lovely gold colours on him. So this is a 25-inch catfish. That's 64 centimeters. Lovely fish. Let's get him back to the water. We have some rocks here, so something to stand on. Strong kick from him. And there he goes. Now we have to see whether our little stone cat, whether he's still alive. What typically happens with a catfish like that, it grabs and it kind of crushes him. So even though we still do have our little stone cat, I don't know whether we'll be able to catch anything else on him. But I'll rebait, get it back out, we'll see if we get anything. We weren't having a lot of action. Fishing slowed down quite a lot, so I moved away a bit from the bridge, cast around, and finally get another little channel cat. Let's get this guy back to the water. Off he goes. Like I said, we started to lose our little stone cat that we used for baits. We didn't get any more hits, so I tried a few different spots, but the action seems pretty dead. It's midday at the moment, and I think that's why the fishing is a bit slow. Alright, ladies and gents, I had fun out there. We caught quite a lot of fish. Now, typically, when fishing with night crawlers, you would expect to get some catfish, but I'm happy that we got on a few different species as well. I'm kind of struggling to find out where the freshwater drum are, or maybe getting some white suckers. So if you have some hints for me about where to find those types of fish, please go down in the comments and tell me. But I cannot complain about a good day's fishing out there. Now, I'll be quite honest, being right next to the highway, this is not particularly a very quieting and calm place. You're not going to be sitting around relaxing, but when the fishing is this good, you're not going to relax in any case. So the idea was just basically having some fun and focusing near the structures, places where I think these fish kind of hide. Now, of course, it is still early and I can continue fishing throughout the day, but it is also summer and my camera equipment is struggling a bit with the heat. So I'm thinking I'm rather going to end this video here. I'm going to ask that you just give me a thumbs up for getting some fish out there. And you guys know the rest. Comment and subscribe. And I want to thank you for following. Like always, I'll see you next time.